Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's Lucy here. I'm back for another live session. I hope you are doing really, really well. I'm going to be covering a topic that seems to have resonated with a lot of you, and that is all around editing wardrobes. And I truly believe that less choice is a lot easier. And so I'm going to be diving into what are some strategies around helping you edit your work wardrobe today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lucy. I'm a personal stylist, and I'm the founder of Style Risers. And I help driven, high-performing women use personal style to accelerate their confidence, visibility, and presence. If you're here joining me live, feel free to say hello to me in the comments so I can say hello back to you. Okay, so gosh, it is December, isn't it? We are the 2nd of December. The Christmas lights were officially turned on here in Spain over the weekend. We are definitely into the home stretch of the year and the festive season now. And I feel it's often this time of year where we've got things that we're trying to wrap up. We've got events that we need to get to, and it can feel like we're just trying to make it through to the end of the year. But I think that this is a great moment to start planting the seeds and thinking about what you want to achieve in 2026. And if more style confidence, if a more simplified wardrobe, if a more organized wardrobe is part of that, then what I'm going to share with you today around wardrobe editing is going to be a really, really good place for you to start. Hi, Maria. Lovely to see you here, and hello to everyone joining me live. So I want to invite just a moment of reflection first, and I want you to think about your morning. Most often, the very first place that we start our mornings is in our closets. So you either, you might walk into your closet, you open the door, and what's the very first thought that starts running through your mind? Is it, gosh, I've got nothing to wear. I feel like I've got nothing to wear. Or is it, I don't really like anything that I've got here. Everything feels a little boring or old or tired. Is it, I've got all these different pieces and I'm not quite sure how to put them together? Or do you walk into your wardrobe and think, I love all these pieces in here. They really feel like they reflect me. There is an emotional connection and an emotional charge with our clothing, and we often underestimate the impact that has. That moment in your day will help to set the tone for your day. And so is that space of your wardrobe, is that helping set a positive, uplifting, and empowering start and tone to your day? Or is it draining, your time and your energy? And if it's the latter, that is where starting with a wardrobe edit can really help you. Now, I have done and been inside many, many women's wardrobes over my time as a stylist, and I have really found that there tends to be when I used to go in to do women's wardrobes, I would often find that there just tended to be, I would see the same patterns and the same sort of pieces that women were hanging on to in wardrobes. And I want to cover those with you. I want to share those with me. Let me know if any of these resonate with you. And then I want to share with you what to do about it, right? We'll actually get into some strategies to help you and what you can do about it. One of the biggest things, the biggest reasons that I see women struggle around this with wardrobes is this: hanging on to clothes that don't fit or feel good anymore. And I saw this many, many, many times. And again, as I mentioned just before, there is an emotional charge that those items of clothing are going to have on you. And let me say this: you do not need the daily reminder or the confrontation with clothes that used to fit you. We, as women, I'm 46, we're getting older, our bodies are changing, and I feel part of it is that we need to be able to make peace with it and to embrace and accept the changes that inevitably come with, getting older, right? Even, whether it's weight gain, weight loss, just body shape changes that generally happen, that is normal for our body shapes to change. Hanging on to clothes that don't fit us anymore, that don't feel good, for us to wear anymore because we have had those changes, they will pick away at our confidence. We're reminding ourselves of them. And we're doing that when we have them hanging there in the wardrobe and we're seeing them every morning. So that's one of the biggest things that I would see in women's wardrobes. The other thing that I used to see over and over again is hanging on to clothes that were from a totally different chapter of life. Perhaps it was old corporate suits, and that was your dress code and that was your work wardrobe, but that's not relevant to your lifestyle now or to the work that you're doing now. It might have been pieces before motherhood. And then motherhood has obviously, caused a number of changes in both, identity of who we are as well as body shape. It might just be a different version of yourself. Again, like our identities evolve, things around us change, careers change. I had a massive change moving to Spain, like my whole environment changed, and I really had to reevaluate my wardrobe based on what my life looked like here, and it's different to what it looked like in Australia. And so careers change, lifestyles change, jobs change, and if we continue to hold on to the pieces that feel connected to that past version, then they tend to keep us stuck and tethered to that past version. And it stops you shifting into who you want to become, who you are in this present moment, and also who you're striving to become. So those were two things that I used to see. So holding on to clothes that don't fit, but also holding on to clothes like from that different version. The other reason that I would see women struggle with their wardrobes, and particularly around, the topic we're talking about today, it's editing the wardrobe, is the belief around that I spent good money on that. Now, I have also thought this and struggled with this when I have purchased items on impulse, or something has been on sale and it's been heavily discounted, and perhaps it was a designer piece and I really wanted it in the moment. And we keep those pieces there, even though we might have worn them once. They might still have the tag on them. We know consciously and logically that we're not really getting the use or the wear out of them that we would like. But because we've spent the money on them, we can be really hesitant to let them go. The thing is this: holding on to that piece, keeping that piece in your wardrobe does not bring the money back. Okay, the money's been spent and it doesn't come back. What I have found is it continues to remind us of the frustration and the money spent. It is a continual reminder of the money that we spent, and it's a continual reminder that we're not actually getting the use out of it that we want. Let me know if these resonate with you, if you have had experience with these in your wardrobe. As I said, I have definitely also gone through, all of these at various stages of my own life too. Let me just jump into the comments. So I can see someone saying, oh, the guilt. Yes, oh, the guilt. We do feel guilt, don't we? And this is what I was talking about, is that there's a lot of emotional baggage and attachment that can be wrapped up in clothing. And we have to become present to the impact that has. And we have to realize then, what do we do about that, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to remove that guilt. If it's guilt about, you've spent money on a piece, as I said, the continual reminder of that just reinforces that guilt, or we can let it go. And so let's talk now about what to do instead. How do we approach our wardrobes in a strategic way so that we can create that wardrobe that does feel like it's an empowering, a positive, a really uplifting space, right? One of the first places we go in the morning, and we want that to feel like it is that really positive space for us. And I just want to preface this by saying that sometimes we can be so scared to let things go, but letting go things that just don't work or feel good creates space. Creates space to let new things in, creates physical and mental space. And so don't be afraid to let things go. And the first step I want to share with you to help you approach your wardrobe is really simple. The first step is really simple. Be honest with yourself. And I mean brutally honest, but in a loving and a very compassionate way. If items don't fit you, you don't feel good in them, you have not worn those pieces in a very long time, let them go. As I said, it is freeing. You are clearing up physical and mental space. If you honestly believe that you might wear them again, then give that a time period. Give it a time period. Maybe they get 3 months, maximum 6 months. Those pieces go on probation, right? And if you haven't reached for them during that period, then you have the answer. You have the answer of whether they belong in your wardrobe moving forward. So be honest with yourself. First step. Second step I want to share with you, and again, this was something very powerful that I found when I was doing wardrobe edits to help the women that I was working with, is like with like. Group your pieces together, like group your categories of clothing together, right? your pants, your jackets, your dresses, like group everything together. And there's a really simple reason why you're going to do this. When you can see all your pants together, you're going to have a much better idea of what you actually have versus what you actually need. If you have 6 pairs of black pants, which was common in a lot of wardrobes that I saw, you probably don't need another pair of black pants. Okay, and there's going to be something that's going to serve you much, much better in your wardrobe. And we can have that really clear bird's eye view, if you will, of our wardrobes when we actually have things organized and grouped in the categories. It's a very, very easy way to see things. Maria, I'm going to come back to your comment. I'll share the next part and then I will come back to your comment because I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people. Okay, so I've just shared with you 2 really important steps. So the first one is to be really honest with yourself. The second one is to put like with like, right? We're grouping items together so we can actually see what we've really got and what we actually do need. Now, the third step that I want to share with you around your wardrobe edit is this. Every single item has to earn its way back in. It's got to earn its way back in. I want you to think about your wardrobe and your closet as being a really expensive piece of real estate, right? And you've only got a certain amount of space. For most of us, we don't have endless, vast amounts of space for our wardrobes. So items need to earn their way back in. They need to be deserving of the space that they are taking up. And so how do you do this? You are going to need to try on and evaluate your pieces. It's the only way that you can really, really do it. You do need to try everything on. Put aside a Saturday morning, put it in your diary. Maybe you're going to plan it for later in December. Maybe you're going to plan it for January. I highly recommend you do put a date in the diary. Hold yourself accountable to it. Say this is the date. Mentally prepare yourself to do it. You're going to have a couple of hours and you are going to be trying on all the pieces and evaluating them. If it feels like that's way too much, start with a season. Start with spring, summer if you're in the southern hemisphere. And, you're evaluating things on the colors and the styles and the silhouettes and pieces that express your personality. We want them to be the best reflection for you. And, we're not evaluating pieces based on how much they cost us and how much we spent. Not basing pieces on who you used to be in a previous life or a previous job. We're basing it on, I think one of the most powerful questions that we can ask ourselves is, do I love how this item makes me feel? Do I love how this item makes me feel? And you want that to be a resounding yes. You really do want that to be a piece that you feel amazing wearing. Maria, I'm going to pop your question up here because I heard this exact same thing last week from a lady. And I've heard this several times. I'm worried that I'll lose half my wardrobe. Eek. Yeah, right. If we've got a lot of pieces in there that don't fit, they don't feel good for us to wear at the moment, they're not related to, our lifestyle and so forth. And if that's taking up a lot of our wardrobe space, we can think, oh my goodness, if I remove all of those, I'm not going to have a lot left. We need to then, if you're in that situation, we do need to then be realistic. We can't leave you with nothing to wear. And so you're going to need to be able to do some replacements. And you're going to need to go out and actually make sure that you might need to remove some pieces and hang on to some others while you're going through that process of replacement and replenishing your new wardrobe. And so it's not necessarily, this isn't like a once and done thing. Depending on, what your wardrobe's made up of. You may need to hang on to some pieces while you're actually then, starting to replenish it with all the pieces that you really do need and that are going to give you that sense of the matching the identity and the lifestyle and who you want to be in this moment. Thanks for sharing that, Christine. I'm sure that's going to resonate with a lot of people. Okay, so I just want to do a quick recap again of those steps and the best way to really approach your wardrobe and your wardrobe edit. First one, get really, really honest with yourself. Okay, get really honest with yourself. Like with like, have your items all grouped together so you can easily see what you've really got in your wardrobe. And then really think about that items have got to earn their way back in. They have to deserve that space that they are taking up in your wardrobe. Okay. Your wardrobe is, it's not just storage space. It's not just a place to look after your clothes. I want you to think about it being an extension of you. And if those pieces don't reflect who you are today and who you're becoming as well, just lovingly let them go. Lovingly let them go on their way. That can feel like a scary moment, I know. But once the pieces are gone, it's so freeing and you will not miss those clothes. And if we can donate them or, you might resell them, they also get a second life where they are being used and contributing to someone else's confidence. So as I mentioned, it's the first place you enter every morning, your wardrobe. It's the first place. And it is either going to drain you and bring up, negative thoughts, or it can empower you, right? Aim for the latter. We want to aim for the latter, that it's a really empowering space. It's positive, it's uplifting. That's how we want to start our day. And we don't want it to reflect the past. We want the clothes to reflect the future. So if today's session has brought up a few aha moments for you, feel free to DM me, feel free to reach out for me. I have deeper programs and also I do one-to-one work around this too. So definitely feel free to jump into your DMs and reach out to me and send you a message. Hope this has been good for you. Any other questions? I'll stay on for a few minutes now, so please let me know if you've got any other questions, and I will I'll answer those for you now. I think this is probably, as I said, I think this is really the foundation of our style and having a really good wardrobe that supports us and really supports us, particularly as I mentioned in who we are and who we're becoming. So let me. I'm just having a look at the comments now. Okay, so thank you so much for doing that great summary of what I have covered today. Absolutely, be honest with yourself. Put it on a probation if unsure. Group categories of clothing together. Amazing. Each item needs to earn its way back in. That is, and do I love how this item makes me feel? Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing that wonderful, wonderful summary of this session. Fabulous. And Maria, thank you so much. You're loving the sentiment to lovingly let them go. Yeah. And as I mentioned, ladies, you know, when we're talking about being, when I say be honest with yourself around, you know, fit and all the pieces in your wardrobe and so forth, I think we do have to be really honest in ourselves, but we're not doing it in a judgmental or a criticizing way. We are doing it in a loving way. And I think when we just we attach, you know, a loving way to let pieces go, I just feel that that's probably the easiest way that we can let things go and let yourself off the hook. If you've made a mistake, an error, if you've bought something, whatever it is, if you've hung on to a piece, we all do it. Just let yourself off the hook. And I promise you, once those pieces are actually out of the wardrobe, you honestly won't feel, you just won't think about them. Again, you're free to get on. You've got more time, energy, and space. Thanks so much, everyone, for all your great comments and engaging. Really glad that this has resonated with you. As I said, feel free to reach out to me if you want to talk about going deeper into this work. Otherwise, I'm going to see you back here again next week for next week's live. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.